Welcome to yet another edition of the show with no name. I'm Bob Going with Gavin Murdoch and Jim Nicosia. Jim, it's you've enjoyed your summer, I assume?
Mostly, yeah. Except for those couple of rainy days.
Yeah. When were those? I don't even remember. I guess there were a couple. Early August, maybe.
It's been a nice summer.
What the heck is today's date? It's
24th.
24th of August already?
Yeah.
Tomorrow is...
Traverse Day.
It's Traverse Day. Yeah, I wasn't thinking along those lines. I was thinking along the lines. It's tomorrow is the 29th birthday of the official undertaker of the show with no name, Pete Rose. So happy birthday, Pete.
Yeah.
He might drop by later. You never know.
You never know. No, you never know.
He's got something
I
for me.
kind of doubt it, but
so.
You got samples?
No. He's got. He's supposed to anyway be picking up the prize I won in the 5K last Friday night.
What prize did you win at the 5K last Friday night?
The oldest guy running.
That's not true.
They were older.
There was at least one guy older. And
at least?
maybe two. I don't know about the other guy. But, I got to tell you, it was a little terrifying. It was, I thought it was kind of a lark when we were last talking about it, which was several hours before the race. This is the Boiling Pot 5K for the benefit of the Canajoharie Youth Center. They've been doing this every year now for a while, and it seems to be getting bigger and bigger. But I get it, my crew is my daughter Anna, my daughter Louisa, who showed up just after the show last week. I don't know if you ran into her in the driveway, but she surprised me. She came not only to root for me, but actually to run with me. So she stayed with me the whole way.
Now, how much prep did you do for this race?
Well, extensive training.
Yeah.
Tuesday a week ago, I bought my running shoes. Wednesday I ran for about an hour with Anna out on the bike path on the south side, and
that's extensive training.
Well, no, there's more.
That's only Wednesday.
Thursday I went out by myself with the dog. Poor dog. He couldn't walk for like 3 days after that. Oh my God! I thought I was in bad shape till I saw this poor fat dog. The official dog of the show with no name. I see he knows we're talking about him. He's right off camera here. Anyway, so I did like another hour or so on that occasion. More walking than running, I would say. But the Thursday run, I felt substantially better than I did on the Wednesday run. Of course, the Wednesday run was like my first run since ever.
The last time
since ever, really. So the next day I already had one run's experience there. So. But yeah, Wednesday I was really hurting afterwards. That was
long day.
Yeah, an hour. Yeah. But I felt terrific after the Thursday training session. So. Of course, I didn't go out Friday morning. We were doing the show, and oh, good, he's here. All right, the official undertaker of the show with no name.
I represent the Olympic Youth Committee.
Oh, this is terrific. This is completely unplanned.
And I didn't bring the American flag today. I brought the tie, but
oh my God,
this is for you.
Oh, here, have a seat, Pete.
What does it say, Bob?
Inaugural CYC Boiling Pot 5K Run for the Rock 2012. Third place men. Well, it says third place men. It doesn't really indicate what it really is, which is third place in my age category and first place in my weight category. So
that's why the Rock.
This is it. We run for the Rock. Each award is different.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Now it says inaugural. This wasn't the first run.
It was.
Oh, it was?
It was.
Oh, I thought they'd
this
been
is
doing this for a while.
No, monumentous occasion.
Well, boy, they really did a good job putting that together.
They
had
a
lot of participants.
Great job.
Wow.
And just out of curiosity, did you finish with him, or were you waiting for him?
Oh, well, he's a kid. By the way, we just wished you a happy birthday tomorrow. So.
Oh, thank you.
I said,
Thank
tomorrow
you.
is, and they both said, Traverse Day. I said, no, it's Pete Rose's birthday. Yeah, no, Pete and Mary, I was just starting to tell that when he popped in out of no place. Pete and his wife Mary were in the race, and the race actually runs right by the Lenz and Betts funeral home. So the kids, the Rose kids were up there with my wife and with Pete's mother. And so we got to wave to them as we went by.
Yeah.
Were they excited?
They were. They
Could you
were.
raise your arms to wave? I mean,
Oh, yeah, I got video.
I gotta say, the Rock Committee was very impressed with your photojournalism and your timeline.
Well, I
were
have been
quite
doing this for a
impressed.
while.
Yeah, they were impressed with that.
Now, is there any symbolism in the fact that there is a fossil in this rock that you received? I'm just
No, that's a typical Canajoharie rock, actually.
a fossil on the left-hand
Now
side. Some ancient plant that.
I was going to say, where did the rock come from, actually?
It must have come from the gorge, right?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
The Canajoharie Gorge, the rocks in the Canajoharie Gorge are what, 400 million years old or something like
Something,
that.
yeah.
It's the sedimentary rocks, 400 million years old.
Sentimental rocks?
Not sedimentary.
Sedimentary.
Come on, you used to be a teacher. Sedimentary.
I taught history. I didn't teach rocks.
I see those.
So sometimes my
So this is,
appeared to be. That's pretty.
I mean, I realize that this is something of a joke. I mean, if I hadn't been like one of three guys in this age group, I would not have won this. But
5K is what, 9 miles?
3.2 miles. 3.2.
That's it? 5K?
It just seemed like 9 miles.
Well, I don't know how you felt, Pete, but when I got to the 1 mile mark, I was really discouraged because it seemed like I'd been running like all day at that point.
You know what I think it was? I think it was the hill.
Yeah, maybe, but
The
it wasn't.
hill.
But it isn't much of a hill, really.
Well, yeah.
It didn't bother us coming back
I was
up
out
after
of breath.
the race.
I was gonna maybe use my own services by the time I got to the top because
Yeah.
I was like, woo.
Well,
But-
Louisa was a little. She had her asthma thing with her, and she said, "Don't run, Daddy, please. We're just walking this, right?" And I said, "No, we're going to run." So, for the beginning, well, you couldn't see us because you were so far ahead, but I got held back. We all started together. They crossed the the starting line right ahead of me, but they had this arch of balloons.
Uh-huh.
To celebrate the beginning of the race and the end of the race. Well, the wind started to blow just as I got there. The arch of balloons knocked the hat off my head. I was also the tallest guy in the race. Did you notice
Yeah,
that?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
It knocks my hat off, so now I have to turn around, and I got this thundering horde of teenagers, like the buffalo coming after me. I had to shoot a couple of them so that the crowd ran behind me. But that accounts for my finishing 125th and not 133rd or 34th.
But the optimal word is finished. So that's important that you finish.
Yeah.
You finish what you started.
It was actually, I was surprised. I knew I was going to finish. That I could walk. I walk that distance all the time. That's not a problem. I climb mountains occasionally, and it really isn't a problem. But running is something I've never done ever. Not since maybe freshman in college when we had to do a 12-minute mile to pass the mandatory phys ed course. But on Thursday, I wasn't keeping exact times. Anna did because she's got the app on her iPhone where it tells you exactly how fast you were going, how far you did. It maps out the route for you and sends it to you. Puts it on Facebook if you want it to. Oh, it's fantastic. GPS. It's all GPS coordinated, so it's very, very precise. But I figured it was going to take me an hour to do it. I mean, I figured I wasn't going to do better than a fast walk on average. And it turns out, I said, geez, I think I broke 50 minutes. And I go and have a banana and a couple of ice pops, and then I go back to the finish line, and it's not yet 50 minutes
Did
at
they
that
give you
point.
oxygen at the end just in case?
I guess they had it
They're on
ready.
standby.
Yeah, they
They're on
were there to
standby.
stand by. I had to.
You didn't get any though.
Well, one of the unnerving things when you're, in the situation I was in is to have the paramedic vehicle beeping the horn right behind you the whole day. They stayed until we hit the bike path, and then they went somewhere else. Once we were on the bike path, we were off the city streets and village streets. So, but ooh, yeah. So anyway, so I came in third out of three, but nevertheless, it was it's a great crowning achievement. It was a pretty good piece of photojournalism.
It was. It was.
Well, now this is what I do. This is what we do this all the time. I was going to do a video of it, but I didn't have that many. I didn't have that much raw video footage. Mary was taking snapshots, which is all right. Worked out. We looked more alive. The funny thing is, if you look at the pictures, I look worse in the first pictures in front of the funeral home before we started the race. We walked downtown from the funeral. I don't know where Lenz and Betts is up on Otsego Street there, kind of on the first hill there, or well, the second hill depending on.
Yeah.
On the west hill anyway.
West.
But I was nervous at that point. I mean, at the end of the race, I felt great. That was.
Anticipation is always the challenge in anything as a first timer.
Yeah, sure.
You don't know.
What was kind of neat is we had a couple of teenage girls, Louise and I. Louise and I really thought we were at the end the whole way because we had the paramedics behind us. Apparently, there were 8 or 10 other people who were behind the paramedics. They got such a slow start that they that not even the emergency vehicles could go that slow. But we had these 2 teenage girls, maybe about 40 yards in front of us, the whole way. We were pretty much keeping pace with them because they weren't keeping much of a pace, and gradually they started withering. And even when we weren't running, we were going at a pretty fast walk, and we're kind of creeping up on them. And every once in a while, one of them would kind of go like that, and then you'd see them whisper together, and then they'd take off, for maybe 10 paces, and then they'd stop again. And then maybe about quarter mile before the end of the race. A couple of their friends who had already finished the race came back, and one goes with one goes with the other, and then they're just kind of sauntering along, talking about their boyfriends, checking their fingernails and stuff like that. And with maybe on the last turn, I said to Louisa, "Now." And we took off, and we blew past the one girl. The other one still finished ahead of us. But we blew past her, and whenever there was a camera around, we were running. When there wasn't a camera around, we got up to the funeral home. I said, we're going uphill. I said, I'm like, all right, your mother's got the camera. We got to run. So we run until we got right past the Lenz and Betts sign, and then I said, stop. There's a picture of Louisa turning around, telling my wife to shut the camera off.
How was the view from the front of the race, Pete?
It was. I tell you, it was amazing because people went sprinting, and I think they didn't anticipate the hill. So by the time we got up, I kind of caught up with the rest of the pack because everybody was just, I don't know, that was a tough hill. But they wanted everybody to get through downtown.
Well, that's it.
Enough.
They said, please hurry through downtown because we had to go through the dummy light, and
then all of a sudden you're at the foot of the hill, like, oh boy.
Yeah.
But it was good. But then once we got past the funeral home, it kind of evened back down.
Oh well,
again,
then it was sure. Then it was the downhill and flat from there. Yeah. It was really a good course.
Yeah.
For somebody like me who,
First time out.
But I will say, Louise and I ran all through downtown, and that was a fair distance. That was several blocks.
When was the last time you ran? I was down at post 701, and I was in the table furthest from the bar. and it was my turn to buy, and I'll tell you, I covered that 35 feet in no time at all.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were on Phillip Street in no time at all.
No, I got up there.
That's pretty good. That's 35 feet. That's not too bad.
It wasn't, I wasn't winded.
I think
No,
I got
had-
about 10 feet.
I had
from my front
plenty
door
left.
to the car.
I've been running once since I went out.
Did you?
Was it yesterday? What's today? Friday? Wednesday, I guess. Yeah, Ann and I went, and Mary too.
You can make a habit out of this.
Oh, I have to, yeah, because you know, I mean, this was. I'm glad I wasn't embarrassed by my performance here because, as I say, I had 2 days of training, 2 hours of training, really.
Training's way overblown, Bob.
I know, but I got to develop some kind of stamina.
I'll tell you, my son runs religiously.
Well, see, I'll never
The
be able to
next
catch
time-
up with somebody who runs religiously. I got to do this on my own. I got to get up to where, if I get up to a point where I can actually run through the whole race, I don't care how fast I'm going, I'm going to do very well.
He runs, I guess, 5 miles at least once a week. Most of
Yeah.
the time it's a mile or two.
Yeah.
The next time he's got to do his 5, I'll tell him to call you.
Well, I noticed that you know, every time I've gone out, I've been able to do better. So Wednesday, I went a fair distance before having to stop the first time. The dog didn't do any better though. He's hopeless. He's hopeless. Wow. Well, what's on your agenda for the week here?
Not much. Not much.
You were out on the boat yesterday.
I was for a little while.
Where'd you go? Sand Island.
Went to Sand Island. I did. That's the
That's a nice spot.
that's the hot spot.
Yeah.
I tell you, lake's getting very low.
Really? Already?
Very low. Very low. I'm told, haven't been up, but I'm told up by the Heck compound, up near, the Northville area, that 6.5 deep in one area,
Ooh.
one spot.
Ooh, that's low.
That's low.
Does anybody remember if I turned the microphone on? Yeah, I did. Okay. All right. Well, we had that
We're
problem
good,
last
good,
week.
No, good. We're good. But yeah, it's even in the past week you can really tell. Real. But we didn't have that snowpack.
Didn't have rain either.
Didn't have much anything.
So did you manage to see Frank and Mike, the American Pickers?
I didn't.
You see that? The American
And you know
Pickers
what's
were in
funny
town?
about
Which I
this?
didn't know.
I heard about them having
I
trouble
think
in the city.
I think. What day was this now? That was on.
It must have been Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday, because
Wednesday
we
and
talked to
Thursday.
Emmy Lou about it yesterday. When we
Well,
went
it's
down for breakfast.
unfortunate because on Monday I had Mary's. I think it was Monday. Mary's oil changed down at Eagle Street Garage. I would have
Oh,
been
get
right.
out of here! You've been right
I would
there.
have been right there. Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder what they found down there.
Well, with
Wow.
with
Can
Charlie
you
Ski,
imagine?
could
You
find
know,
anything.
I mean, I can just see Mike now doing the headshot there. He says, "This guy saved everything, everything," and absolutely true. That must have been fantastic. Did you know Charlie Ski? You probably had his funeral, didn't you?
I did. Well, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
He was a tough.
There were-
buy something from him. You had to get a lawyer to negotiate with.
Yeah, and he wouldn't sell anything.
And he
So
wouldn't sell.
that's why I think this warehouse had to be fantastic. Plus, he had the I don't know if they went up to Fort Johnson, but he had that whole yard in Fort Johnson where he kept all the outdoor stuff.
Yeah, all the steel and
Now,
beams and everything.
back when we had the arterial system going through and we had urban renewal going through at the same time,
Urban renewal.
one hell of a lot of houses and buildings went down in Amsterdam, and there were only 2 guys bidding on it: Globe Construction, Tony Karate, and Charlie Ski. Now, these guys couldn't have been more different. By the way, you want a cup of coffee? I got it.
Yeah. Well, sure. That'd be a little cup.
Give you a whole pot.
Anyway,
That's perfect. Thank
Tony. I was about to say may you rest in peace, but I saw him last week. so
Just
I
a
know
dash. Just a dash. There's a dash. Good.
Tony's system of taking down a house was pretty basic. You wrap a chain around it and you pull, and then you cart the stuff away. Ski would take it apart one nail at a time, and I'm not kidding. He would save
Systematically.
every board, every nail, every brick, certainly every piece of woodwork, every fireplace mantle, every. And I don't recall anybody. I'm surprised to hear you say that the people were even able to consider buying stuff from him, but because he was really.
My son went there a couple times, and he says absolutely can't do business with him.
Yeah, he wouldn't let go of this stuff. He was a hoarder on top of it,
the Fort Johnson airport was built with the bricks that he took down from homes in the city.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's why they had so much trouble up there, because he figured he owned that thing because all the materials
It was
were
his. It's mine.
So when the Civil Air Patrol wanted to take it over, I guess they had a little bit of fight with him.
Yeah. Well, he could be a stubborn guy. He was a good, hard-working guy, I'll tell you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my
Oh, yes.
Lord.
Now, we don't know when that's going to be aired, though, do we?
No, it's all big secret. It's all big. If it's aired at all, you know. I mean, imagine they throw away a lot of footage in the course of their. But you know, that's great. I mean, I watch that show religiously. I mean, if they're having, well, they'll usually run 8 or 10 episodes in a row, and I usually sit down and watch them all, even though I've seen them all. You know, it's. I learned a few secrets. Frank, the little guy, is apparently has a fairly serious heart problem. He carries oxygen with him.
Oh, really?
And they just take the oxygen off for the shoot. I mean,
Really?
he carries a tank with him. Yeah.
The thin guy?
No, the heavy guy, the short guy. Yeah, yeah.
So they didn't announce that they were coming. They just showed up.
No, they just showed up. Yeah, because
Well, now,
I
did
mean,
somebody,
let's face it. When
well-
I mean, these guys are huge celebrities. They don't want to be smothered.
I mean, how do you, well, there must be an application process. Say, hey, we got this.
Oh, well, yeah.
They knew.
I believe Charlie's daughter got a hold of them and said, look, we got, and I'm sure they get that all the time. Have we got a spot for you? And
But they said on the news this morning that they had done some other shoots here in the valley. It wasn't just.
well, I'm not
Hampton
surprised.
Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that they had dinner at the Rain Dancer,
Well,
but they were staying in Albany.
They came too late for me because my son cleaned out my garage last week. So they were
You're kidding. You mean all your treasures are gone?
Oh, some of them. Oh God, I went in the house.
You probably got some treasures, but
Well, he had a lot more treasures until his wife got mad at him.
Yours
one
got clean too.
time. Yeah. Well, we were
Almost. You found that manual, and now you're good.
Oh my God! Yeah. See,
They had to clean. They had to,
Anna had the dumpster here while Mary and I were away for a week, and I mean, I don't. You know, you can't tell when kids tell you stuff what's true and what isn't. She said she had 2 dumpsters, and we saw the second one. I don't know. You were here when we got home, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah. And they had the. How did you guys know we were coming then? You were up in the attic of the garage taking pictures of us arriving to find the dumpster.
They had a whole system of signals to notify them to.
There were a couple of things I wanted to save that were in the dumpster, but not so seriously that I would offend my daughter, who did a hell of a job cleaning stuff out. You know, the worst thing is, you can hardly tell. If she really loaded 2 dumpster loads and they're gone, there is really little evidence that there's that much stuff missing.
well, that same thing happened with me. That Mike, my son, bought me a car for Father's Day. He buys me a car, a 1973 Pontiac.
Wow.
So he says, you got to put it in the garage because it's got one leak on one of the windows. So I said, you can't get it in my garage. He says, we'll take care of it. He says, I'll come down. He says, and we'll.
And they did.
Oh God. Well, I think mostly they just rearranged everything.
Well,
she did a good job of not touching stuff I told her not to touch.
Well, that's good. Well, that's good.
And I went through the garage a couple days later and was able to dump a whole mess of old files and stuff that I didn't need.
That's good. But you never know when you're going to need something.
No,
Well,
that's
you know
true.
when you need it?
Well, that's
the
right.
day after you throw it away.
Well, one of the things, the thing you were talking about, I did jump into the dumpster and pull out the manual for my Wallensack tape recorder, my reel-to-reel tape recorder, because I have that. It's
You
up
still got it?
now apparently that was down in the basement, but the Wallensack's up in the attic. So actually, she did me a favor. I can now unite the two items. But you know, I mean, where are you gonna find the? Those were good machines, those Wallensack reel-to-reels.
I got an Ampex sitting in my garage. My son, I said, don't touch it. I leave it right there.
Wow.
I covered it up.
Wow. Well, you see what this stuff goes for on.
Well, that's that too. But you know, you never know. You never know.
You never know.
My grandfather would save, not that kind of stuff, but like scrap wood or this, that,
Right.
everything, and like the other day.
You need a board.
Well,
there it is.
it's funny because I had like pieces of plywood that were chopped up, and I don't know why I saved them. I don't know why, but I said, I might need these someday. It's an awful have to get into.
It's not an awful
well,
habit.
I tell
Scrap
you,
wood is,
the other day I needed one of those.
When
pieces
all
of-
you need
I
is something like
well,
that.
Yeah, that's all. I went
You
down.
know- do you know what a Morris chair is? A Morris chair. It's a Stickley chair. It's an easy club chair like they used to have in the YMCA's.
Oh yeah. Okay, sure.
I've built 2 of them so far out of scrap lumber, and I'm on the 3rd one.
Wow.
And 90% of, the first 2 are all oak. The second one, I just went to the store to buy some pine because I didn't want to spend the money for the oak. But it's all
Well,
scrap lumber.
Well, hey, but you're right. But I went to the shelf and I needed, just went through my pieces and I had
found
one.
one, yeah.
I thought it was like,
Doesn't that make you feel great?
it did. It did.
And you take a picture of it because you can always show it to your wife afterwards. Oh, see?
See?
Yeah. I gotta get that Wallensack out of the attic. I got some great reel-to-reel tapes that I better convert before they die.
I mean, well, the real, no, they're good for forever.
Oh, they're not, because I had one
years
fall
ago.
apart as I was playing it.
Really?
Yeah, and it was
3 years ago, I
Yeah.
had about 300 of these reel-to-reel tapes.
Mhm.
I sold them on eBay. Everybody who bought one said they were terrific shape. They loved them, and I think I got three tapes left.
Wow. These are fresh tapes?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I got stuff that is
I never had a reel.
stuff that was recorded when I was 4 years old. I have a reproduction, in other words, a second generation of a wire recording that was made in like 1948 or 49. My grandfather had reel-to-reels very early. He was, he loved it. He thought he thought he was Edward R. Murrow. He'd go into people's living rooms, stick the microphone in their face. Yeah,
I had a wire recorder.
but some of that stuff is
Priceless.
really great to have.
Irreplaceable.
I mean, I've got my great aunt Lucy died in 1962 or something like that. I remember her, but he's got her from the mid 50s. Just sat her down and talking about her father, who died, a generation before I was born. It's great. And one of these tapes I got in the attic is of George Clisby. George Clisby was an old bachelor who lived with his sister Clara in the old Clisby homestead, which was where Highland Gardens is now. Okay, and the Clisby farm used to be all of that section of Rockton, the McNear, McClary, such and such area. So their family had sold that, and Grandpa Des sat down with George Clisby like in 1957 or 58, when Clisby was in his 80s, talking about his life, what he remembered of old Rockton, and then telling stories about the Clisby family going back to like 1700. It was absolutely incredible stuff, and otherwise would have been completely lost. Yeah. And is virtually lost because it's in my attic. But someday when my kids throw that out. We're talking about saving stuff. When Des died, he was my father's stepfather. My mother and my aunt inherited the house, so I was cleaning it out, and I go up in the attic. And the house is on McClary Avenue. The house was built like in 1909, and some of the floorboards in the attic were up. I don't know whether they had never put board down, so you could see between the joists. And inside, I found a baseball card, one of those old tobacco baseball cards, from when the house was built. whoever the workman carpenter was, opened a pack of cigarettes, threw the baseball card on the floor, and there it remained until I picked it up. And on top of everything else, it was a Wagner.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, not Honus Wagner, Charlie Wagner.
He got played there, Jim.
Yeah.
Charlie Wagner played for the Boston Americans. But later became the Red Sox. But at the time, I think they were called the Boston Americans on this card. And it mentions, while not as not as well known as Honus Wagner, Charlie is nonetheless a great ball player.
Now, is it easy to convert these tapes into DVD?
Yeah, as long as you play it, you can just plug it straight in, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. I just got to do it.
I had a lot of fun selling those tapes on eBay. I was selling to England,
Really?
New South Wales, Japan.
I mean, are they that rare? No, I mean you can't.
Well, maybe the artist,
Oh.
because these guys at different places weren't bidding all on the same thing. The ones that I sold, they were all from different places.
Well, what in the world does it cost to ship overseas?
A couple of the tapes that I shipped cost the guy more for shipping than, because they had to pay for shipping.
Right.
It cost more for the shipping than it did for the tape. But he wanted them.
Piece of history.
Yeah. Australia. It's,
One time, oh, you didn't know Sister Ann Roberta. She was way before your time. Sister Ann Roberta taught Latin for many years at St. Mary's and Bishop Scully. Gavin, you must have had her.
I have Sister Alberta. 4 years.
And you remember her reel-to-reel tape recorder?
Yes.
I have that too. That's in my.
You got hers?
I bought it from her. Yeah, she needed some cash for some Latin Club supplies. So I also have her Super 8 movie camera. Yeah.
Do you have any of her Super 8 movies?
No. Marie Guagliardo has those.
Yeah?
Yeah, she.
now those you got to convert quick because they fade.
Super 8?
Super 8.
Oh, I don't think so. I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the Super 8s have held their color beautifully.
No, I've got some Super 8s
Really?
that they faded terribly.
Huh?
It's a good thing I converted them to VCRs, but
Now you convert those to DVDs after.
Yeah,
and
but you know,
I did.
but
some
you know,
of them.
that's what I did with. You've seen the Amsterdam Bridge
Yeah.
video I
Yeah.
did. That's at least the third generation. I took it from the Super 8, put it on VHS, and then from VHS to digitizing it. And boy, that in the transfer, it lost virtually all its color.
Yeah.
But the original has still got pretty decent color. Of course, it was a cloudy day, but even so. But yeah, you really need to convert those before they're lost. Wow.
I probably got 100, 200 VHS tapes that I've got to convert. If I ever get them converted.
Well,
I bought the machine to do it.
yeah, I did too. You know what?
I
The
did
machine
two-
wore out
two
before I
tapes.
got around to doing it.
No, I did 2 tapes and
Yeah.
I haven't been back.
Yeah, actually, I got 2 of them here. So one of them's got to work at this point. But, yeah, we just press the button and it goes to DVD.
Yeah.
I had to do that.
Michael Chiara, Tesla 7 did that. He was the first person I saw had one of those machines.
Who?
Michael Chiara, he
The guy that
used to be
he's a
somebody.
supervisor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I saw him a couple weeks ago somewhere.
Wow. Wow. So what are you doing for your birthday then?
Kind of all birthdayed out.
After 28 of them, I mean, what do you expect?
Gee. Wow.
Nope, I am working this weekend, so
Oh.
that's but
Poor planning on somebody's
poor
part.
planning. But I went out.
I see you picked one up right after the race, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we've had I bought myself a new set of golf clubs. Well, Mary, here we go. I got a new set of golf clubs. Maybe I'll try those out tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see.
What kind you get?
But just a Dick's Sporting brand, Acuity TI set of steel clubs. They were on sale. I figured, well, just I'm a novice, just needed a new. I never really had my own set, so I always borrowed somebody's, or I had a loaner pair and thought, well, I'll give these a shot, see what we went out to dinner last night and been on the boat and this, that, and 80 million other things.
Did you get a hand wedge with that set of clubs?
Yeah.
That's important.
Oh yeah. Fonda Fair starts Tuesday.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah.
End of summer.
I see. Yes, that's right. There was some paper today, right?
Right, 'cause
They said they were going back to the old way.
Yeah, right.
Well, thank God. Thank God.
Animals in races or something. They said animals.
Well, when did they go away from that? I didn't realize
I
that
don't
they.
know. I don't know.
I didn't realize they had changed anything from the last 150 years.
It's like that.
We always had animals.
What's that saying?
I'm trying to think. Did you read any of Richard Russo's novels?
No.
Some of which are set in this area because he was from Johnstown or Gloversville. Gloversville, like you.
That's right.
Wonderful writer, and one of his early work, I think it was Mohawk, which was one of his first big novels, which is really kind of well. In any event, he has a description of the Fonda Fair in there.
Does he?
Yeah, and it is so dead on that it's hilarious if you know it because nothing changes. Year after year, you know exactly exactly where
Yeah.
Avis Lippy is going to be sitting when you go. You just you're going to say hi to the. You know where the motors are going to be. The antique motors are going to be popping over there.
Yep.
And where the cows are and the tractor pulls and it was.
My mom always wanted to go to see the Joey Chitwood Thrill Show.
Yeah, Joey Chipwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my. I think it must have been the year I ran for family court judge. We had the booth up there.
Yeah.
So that's really the only time.
Was that under the grandstand?
Yeah, it was under the grandstand. It was the only time we've ever been there every day of the fair. So I got to see all that stuff. It was great, I got really into the tractor pulls. So that's serious business.
Dad always.
Yeah, that is. You see, they put a lot of money into those tractors.
Oh yeah.
The first place my dad would always take me when we would go up there would be the big drum. These guys are riding motorcycles around the walls and the go-karts around the walls, and they go up and down and this thing, and they have the wires there. And these guys were, this far from the top of the drum. It was.
That was exciting. That was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to.
That and Joey Chitwood were the things we went for.
Wow. Now that hasn't been back in a while, has it? The Chitwood Show?
No, I don't know if you've even.
Not by that
It's been,
name.
it's
Timmy
been
Chitwood
a couple
was
years
doing
since I
Yeah. Guys go around on two wheels and
yeah.
they jump over each other.
Well, how the heck did?
I think the last time I saw that was Al.
How the heck did they even pull it off last year? The flood was like the week before the
didn't.
fair.
They didn't. I
They
think
didn't.
it got canceled.
They didn't.
Oh, they can't. Was the fair canceled?
Oh, they had.
No. They got it cleaned up, but I think it was limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they had
I remember
feet of mud in there.
The thing I remember was they had that bull there, and I think he's going to be there this year too. They couldn't move him because they couldn't get the trailer. It's a special trailer to get down, so they just had to leave him.
Oh my God!
But he weighs like some ridiculous 3,000 pounds or something. And he's tall. He's like. His back is like 7 or 8 feet tall. He's huge. He's mammoth. But they couldn't move him, so they kind of left him with a bucket full of grain and tied him to and put him in a high spot because they couldn't get him out either way. And he was fine. He was fine. They went back and once the water went down, they went back and got him.
Why didn't they just walk him up to the high school or something? Huh?
I don't think he can walk. Well, I think he can't go very far.
He'd probably sink in the mud.
Wow.
But yeah, I remember they got it cleaned up just before, because it happened on the 28th.
It was like the 28th, yeah.
It was like the 28th, but they got it open for, I think, Labor Day weekend for like 2-3 days or something like that. But not many people went.
They couldn't get there.
Well, they couldn't get there. Well, you know, it's just I guess good to get the show to go on, but a lot of people lost their homes.
I think the state fair started yesterday, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
I've never been to that.
Me either. I'm told the Big E
In
Big E in
Springfield.
Springfield is supposed to be pretty big.
to be pretty
Eastern States?
Yeah, pretty.
But that runs
pretty
a
good.
long time too.
Yeah,
the Big E.
yeah, that's like a.
And that's about
2-3
the
week
same
long.
distance from here as Syracuse. Might
Yeah.
even be closer, actually.
Capital District Scottish Games are
Coming next
Coming up.
weekend.
Ah,
You can go down and see the world champion
That's
Go Pipe Band down
That's
there
right.
next Saturday.
get
and
out of
Sunday.
here, really?
Yeah, they're going to be there. Yeah.
They're
Was
gonna
that the
do
Altamont Fairgrounds?
Altamont Fairgrounds.
And that's
mass
great.
bands at 5:00 on Saturday.
no mass bands opens at noon, and then they have the closing with the mass bands at 5, and that's when they announce all the daily winners. And then Sunday they have some other competitions, but they have on Saturday they have solos in the morning, and they have the band competitions in the afternoon.
I tell you, if you want to see something,
When is,
locally,
now this is
that's something
tomorrow
to
or
see.
next week?
Next week,
Next
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
That mass band is, I mean,
Yeah.
probably just a fraction of what happened over.
Yeah.
You know,
but if you go to that mass bands, you can see why they had the pipers playing during a war, because when you hear that music, you want to kill somebody. I mean, just very, very intensive. But it is great. You know, you've got, 300-400 pipers.
Didn't that crazy man who played on D-Day die fairly recently? Wasn't that like in the last year or so?
Yeah.
You remember that scene in The Longest Day where where Colonel Howard has seized the bridge and he's supposed to hold until relieved, and the Germans keep counterattacking, and then all of a sudden he hears the bagpipes, and I guess the Germans just got totally spooked by the bagpipe, and nobody even shot at the guy. They just thought this was the craziest thing they ever saw.
Yeah, the Germans called the Scottish regiments the ladies from hell. Because they wore the kilts in the battle, and they're called ladies from hell.
Well, and then Peter Lawford showed up, Lord Lovett, with the bagpiper, right?
I give you a little history here.
Oh, good.
We have a family castle, the Rose family castles in Scotland.
Really?
It's called I think English pronunciation or translation is I think it's Kilvarrock. But anyway, it's actually a kind of become like a rectory. I mean, you got to be very religious to stay there. Not a lot going on. But however, way back when, the Roses hosted the morning before the battle, or the day before the battle, hosted a party for Scotland, and then after we lost, they hosted another party
for the English.
for the English. But
there was a lot of that going on.
Whereabouts in Scotland is it?
It's
near the border, I'll bet.
It's up north.
Really?
I got to make a trip over there.
Wow, you haven't been there yet?
I haven't been there yet.
Oh,
no, really,
you gotta go.
really should make a trip.
Yeah.
Well, get the address for me. I'd like to see where that is.
It's
our next trip there.
You can
go.
actually go. There's a website and everything. You
The
can
Rose
Google it.
Castle.
Rose, if you Rose or Kilvarrock, Kilvarrock, but I forget. It's got more of a raw to it. But
there's more phlegm in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
But,
Wow.
Good Scotsman.
They probably you're not too close to being in line for that, or?
No. My kids actually own they've got Lord Jack and Lady Taryn have actually a little little parcel of land over there.
Really?
You can purchase. Yeah. So we've got they've got more of a stake than I do. But
Well, you're their guardian, though.
well, yeah. So, but yeah, we got to take a trip there sometime.
Yeah,
check it
absolutely.
out.
Wow.
But no,
I own a piece of the moon. The kids gave it to me for
Oh,
Christmas
yes.
one year. I got the deed and everything. It's just good.
You don't have a star named after you.
no.
No, well,
Star Bob,
that's such a rip-off thing, having a star. Yeah, we'll put it.
A
Yeah.
piece of the moon isn't
Yeah.
though.
No. All I got to do is.
Yeah. That kind of
And you should see
sounds
that
out there too.
You should see that canal front land I'm looking at on Mars.
But
Did I mention that I'm on Mars?
No.
And I'm not living vicariously through my brother, whose electronic
Oh.
chips are on Mars. When this last one landed, I suddenly remembered something from. It wasn't Spirit and Discovery. It was before.
Curiosity?
No, it was like the one before that, which was probably, I don't know how many years ago now, maybe 14 years ago or something like that. There was something on the internet. I think I belonged to the Mars Society or something, and all you had to do was go to this website and add your name, and it went on to this memory chip that landed on Mars. So
You'll be remembered.
I'll be remembered. My name, anyway. My name is on Mars. Electronically,
sounds like a
digitally.
movie.
Yeah. Anybody see that dog lately? Well, you
I think
couldn't
he's in the
hear us.
shade. Splash.
In the shade. Yeah, no.
All right. What time we got here? We
About 10 of.
about. You look.
Yeah, quarter of.
Oh, okay. We got a lot of time.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna.
Food for thought. If you do go to the mass bands,
You should wear a kilt. Now, if you don't have a kilt, well, maybe just. I think you have to wear a kilt.
Mary skirts. That's all.
But if you enter there's a knobby knee.
No, it's Bonnie knee.
Bonnie knee. I'm sorry, Bonnie knee contest.
Yeah.
You can get you might get an award there.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and they
altogether
fit.
possible because I got some pretty bony knees here. Let me tell you. Did you say bony knees?
Well,
It's called Bonnie knee
Bonnie
contest, and they have women there who are blindfolded who
Who feel your
Feel your
knees?
knees. Yeah.
determine who's got the bonniest knees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a,
And you can see some yaks and some sheep,
Yeah.
sheep herding, and Steve Caporizzo's
Jamie,
there, and he does a
Ja-
live show, and
Is he Scottish?
I don't know.
no. They have the caber toss.
That's something to see.
Yeah, you guys own a telephone pole.
I only
Yeah,
went
that
telephone
yeah,
pole.
that I would really like
That
to see.
that is, my dad was very into the Rose, family history. So,
Myth.
well,
Well,
so
Hey,
he thought it would be cool, and we did this for, oh my gosh, I think 10 years or more. After following the Scottish Games on Labor Day, he had the unofficial Rose Scottish Games on his property.
really?
Yeah, and
Well, wait.
his
How old
buddy,
were you at the time?
Oh, I was maybe, I don't know, 10.
Okay.
11.
All right.
He got his buddy, Bill Shaw.
How'd you do in your age category?
Well, I know, now I probably could, but he got his buddy Bill Shaw, for at the time was working for NIMO, to bring a telephone pole home, one of the old ones, and we brought one home, and of course we had to cut it in half, or 3/4, because telephone poles are pretty big pole, and we
especially
made
when you
up,
get the underground part.
we had the the caber toss, we had the
The sawing thing?
no, they throw the sheaf of hay
the sheep.
over.
And I
over-
tried that. That's pretty difficult. You gotta, with a pitchfork, throw it back over your head
over
and
this
up in
bar.
the air.
It's like a high jump for bales of hay.
Right. And then you had the.
Wait, you're tossing a sheep?
No. Well,
Sheath.
sheep.
The sheath of the.
Oh, a
Sheath,
sheath.
yeah,
I was going to report you guys to PETA. Okay. Like, yeah. All right.
okay.
Bringing in the sheath.
And then I forget what the other one with the
is the weight.
the weight.
Yeah. They have this big, huge hammer
It's-
that they
You know,
throw.
like a modern day Olympic, rock. You know, just hee ho. But gosh, he threw that party for 10 years or more.
Wow.
And then made up a plaque. And and every year we passed it around to whoever won the, and we'd go through semifinals and do the whole nine.
But did you have a piper?
The Rose game.
And we had a piper.
You did have a piper.
And his name, believe it or not, he was from Staten Island. His name was Phil Rose. And him and his wife Jeannie would come up for this
For the Rose games.
Rose games. And I think it was about mid-October we'd always have it. And he'd come up and then he'd but I gotta get a piece of property and because you need some space to throw a telephone pole.
You could.
Yeah,
I think that corner lot is.
You need at least 10 feet.
Yeah. But
That's-
we could.
Yeah.
Now, do you run with this first, right?
Yeah. You get
Yeah.
momentum. You have to pick it up,
Hold
your
it.
hand.
And
Right.
and you got to toss it so it hits on the end. And
One
the winner is the one who makes it flip and makes it flip to 12 o'clock. Each degree off is
Right.
so many points.
Right.
You want to
You
have
want
it
a
flip all the way
full
straight.
rotation. Just
Yeah. And these guys, some of these,
I could do that.
these guys.
I think with a little bit of training.
that's right. Couple 3 days.
Couple 3 days.
at least.
Yeah. And they have women now participate in these games too down there.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
See,
Some brawny women.
I haven't been since the year before. I haven't been since 2002. That's how long I've
10
been.
years.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a long.
Well, you oughta
I've got the
go.
25th anniversary mug that my dad had, but I've got that because next.
Well, yeah, you weren't old enough. then,
Well,
12
no, I
years
wasn't
ago.
old enough, but
You're
he,
only 17.
but I haven't been. We should probably
Go down
go
this year. We'll be there.
But we used to set up a table. They had the clans.
Yes,
we
yeah.
had a booth and everything. Had the history and
Yeah.
good fun. You can get a bridie and a brew and hang out and
Get a
A bridie?
a bridie.
yeah, or you can get some haggis.
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah.
They do have haggis there.
Yes, they do.
They do.
You couldn't get haggis in Scotland.
At the games, they didn't have those.
Well, you couldn't
But
get corned beef and
I am
cabbage or
still
in Ireland.
of the opinion that haggis is the reason the Scots came to America. So you get away from it. You get something decent. It is.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, now they offer fish and chips if you want to
Yeah.
really go.
Get the British side, yeah. But Scotch is the reason you can eat haggis. You drink enough Scotch, it don't matter what it tastes like.
That's true. That's true.
But come on down. There'll be the bands there. There'll be a big competition.
It's 2 days,
It's a
right?
2 days.
Saturday. See,
Yeah.
used to only be one, and then that was probably 10 years ago.
And the 2 days, and the second day they have different types of band competitions, and they also have the big refreshment tent where they have all the Gaelic bands performing in there, and there's some great. It's amazing that bagpipes and guitars and drums
There's a
and fiddles
band.
can get played together.
There's a band, and it's not Hair of the Dog, and I can't think, but. And it's not to diminish the Irish, because we've got some Irish too. But you go to the Irish Festival at Saratoga, or even the North American up in Herkimer, is nothing compared to
Scottish game.
nothing at all.
You got to go.
You got to go. You got to go.
Well, it's not as wild.
Well,
It's exciting.
it's exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
Well, that's what I
different there's a
mean.
different type of. Well, I think because there's more of a.
It's more of a manly thing.
Well, there's more of a culture.
It's a more of a manly man
you know,
thing.
but
It really is.
but you can get a lot of memorabilia. You can.
a lot of music.
A lot of
These
music
Gaelic
and-
bands that play are phenomenal. Hot
amazing.
Chili Pipers are down there sometimes. Hair of the Dog is down there.
Well,
I think it's called Celtic Storm.
while you guys were in Scotland, the Olympic coverage did a piece on your upcoming games there or competition, and they were going around and they did a segment on the Red Hot Chili Pipers there. It was pretty good. It was
Yeah.
like
It's a Celtic
they
rock
sent
band
one of the
with
reporters
bagpipes
up there and did a 15-minute segment. I did not see the Scotia Glenville Pipe Band in the process, but nevertheless,
It's all right.
you guys did all right.
You can
But you didn't have any of the royalty there, the royal family?
No, the Queen was not at Holyrood while we were there.
And not and Prince Harry wasn't skinny dipping any place?
Well,
or?
he may have been, but not where we were. We tried to make it a family place where
Now-
we were staying.
That's why Harry was
Now,
there. It's a
suppose
family
you're
thing.
suppose you're third in line to the throne of something. I don't care if you're third in
Okay.
line to the throne of Bulgaria.
But we're not shown in Bulgaria now, though, are we?
No, we're back in
We're
Bulgaria.
back
We're
in
back now that
Bulgaria.
that we eliminated the theme song. Yeah, but I mean, would you think maybe think twice before playing strip pool with a bunch of hookers in Las Vegas who all have cell phones?
Well,
Which was apparently the only thing they were wearing was
were
their cell phones.
yeah. Well, actually, they were New York women. If you saw them on TV last night.
Oh, were they
were
interviewed?
yes, they were. They were.
Oh.
They were having a wedding party. It was a party for the bride, and
It was a party for the bride,
Yeah.
and they were all.
Yeah, they were all of them.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
that's going to go
But
down
I'm
in the
not
books.
sure this is a whole lot different than what the people who've been lying for the Breeze throne haven't been doing for hundreds of years. Except
I know,
now
but you
you've got
don't do it with
phones that have
cameras.
pictures on 'em.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Nothing has changed.
No, there's
Nothing has
but
changed.
there's nothing that you can get away with. You can get somebody's going to have a camera someplace where you are.
You know, it's amazing. We went to,
Certainly, Edward VIII was a rascal.
but we went to our funeral director state association convention was down in the booming town of Poughkeepsie. I use that term lightly. But anyway, you know, we had an interesting debate, discussion about, you know, internet and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all this stuff. And the bottom line was, you're on the internet whether you like it or not. And if you're not, you know, you can certainly maybe counteract it a little bit, or at least have a stake in what your, you know,
Putting
where
out
your
being
face
said
may
about
show
you.
up, or, you know, but whether you like it or not, you're there.
Yeah.
It's
By choice or by
but
or hook. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
I went to a car show last weekend, brought my car. I'm sitting there with my son. I went through Facebook the other day, and there's a picture of my son and I sitting next to our cars.
There you go.
I said, you got to be careful what you do.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
But have you seen that picture floating around the last couple of days on Facebook of God in His fury driving Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden?
No.
And it shows Michelangelo's God behind the wheel of a Plymouth Fury, and Adam and Eve are in the back seat as he's driving them.
No, I didn't see that
It's
one.
like a '63 Plymouth Fury or something.
Well, yeah, everybody's got a phone that can put that stuff on instantaneously. It can be there before you've even done what they're going to be shown that you did.
Yeah.
Now, how many years ago? We were talking about this last week with Pete. But how many years ago was that TV commercial where the girl is getting proposed to and she snaps a picture of her ring and her friends find out about it, and we all went, ah! And now, you know, we do it.
You can see proposals.
That was like
It's
3 years
amazing.
ago. You know.
I remember, you know, I was a senior in college, and I figured, well, I'll give up the landline in my room, and I'll get a cell phone. You know, I kind of broke
A
down.
revolutionary.
Yeah. I thought, well, because everybody else had kind of had them, and I thought, well, maybe I'll jump on the bandwagon. I remember my first phone number too, but
BR549.
yeah.
Well, I was junior sample use quite a lot of that number.
But now it's
Walter Goings
the
was
kids
20.
the kids are, you know, 8 years old, and I mean
Yeah.
with not
Yeah.
my kids, but who knows what will be
Yeah.
when they're.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
my gosh.
we've gone so far in the last 2-3 years. It's out of this world.
You got a camera on here?
I mean, these apps on the
I don't know.
iPhone.
I'll tell you.
Laura's sitting there watching movies on the iPhone.
I played in a golf tournament, you know, a week ago, the Chamber Classic up here at Rolling Hills, which, you know, we've played before, but, you know, the tournament's the second year it was there, and we pulled one guy because our foursome fell apart. We pulled one guy out of the pro shop. He was just hanging out, so he gets out. So we're on the course, And he gets out there. He's okay, yeah, we're about 125 yards, and the kid next to me, he both, yeah, we are. I didn't even know it existed. I was blown away. He's like, oh yeah, this app, you get on the iPhone, you got to get it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's just.
Where's the nearest
amazing.
target?
And here I am, and I'm looking at the sign. Okay, yeah, we're about 120 feet. It's like, you don't need that. You got this.
How much you have to know, because everything is out there. You can get that information.
Yeah.
How important is it what you actually learn if all you have to learn how to do is push a button and that information comes to you.
And
what was
somebody's got to program this stuff.
What scares?
Yeah, that's
not scary, but when I first got into business, having the computer and be able to type out your document and everything, and I was kind of ahead of I don't want to say the old fogies, but but now we've got this, we've got an iPad, and I'm okay with it. I mean, my daughter's 5 now, and she's dad, no. I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's scary in some ways, but
I mean, you look at of course, Laura's a pretty bright kid, but nevertheless, she's a kid. She's 4.5, and like a year ago, she's in her 3s, and she would come into my computer, and she would have to click on like 6 different levels of stuff she can't read to find Kate Smith singing "God Bless America," and she wanted to hear that, and I would have trouble finding it, and it's not labeled. It's not labeled Kate Smith singing "God Bless America," but she knows where it is.
These kids are sharp. These kids are really
amazing.
sharp.
Wow.
Amazing.
Who would ever thought you could do a TV program from your backyard
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah.
In HD. In HD.
and be shown in Bulgaria?
And let me tell you something. The 3D camera was not much more than this one, but since I didn't have a 3D television to
Right.
play it on, I didn't bother. But I could have been doing this show in 3D.
Oh, can you imagine?
No, I can't. Oh,
It's,
I'll tell you what, we will look good in 3D. We would.
Next to
Listen, I watched last week's show.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm sitting in this straight back chair and you guys are sitting in the rockers.
I saw that.
That rocker made me look like I weighed about 600 pounds.
I saw that.
But what I really marvel at was the quality of the sound. Now you've got the mic.
Oh,
hung
yeah,
up here.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you got the sound on it.
I don't know what happened with that.
I didn't know you were going to have that meeting the last.
Oh,
week.
I sent you an email.
I didn't see it.
Well, I sent you one. And I also replied to your one from yesterday.
I didn't see that either.
Well,
this
I
morning.
did. I did reply.
You're sending it.
You
to
really
her.
ought to check your email more often.
No, I checked this
I
morning.
hit reply. It had to go straight back to what you sent it to me. Yeah.
I checked this morning. That's why I called you on the phone.
No. I responded within the seconds of your sending it to me, actually.
Yeah, I got
Did you see the Gazette yesterday? The
No.
front page of the Gazette. They had a picture of a lady taking a picture of a lady taking a picture of something that was going on. They did. Marina was on there taking a video of the band at the reception the other night, and the camera person took a picture of her taking a picture of the band performing.
I saw
for
the picture of your wife
it's
there,
like,
Marina.
wow. But everything is like this.
All right.
You've got
Well, that's how I
information
knew. That's how I knew about Frank and Mike being down in the East End on Wednesday, because Emmy Lou had it. Went down there and got cell phone pictures and put them up on Facebook right away.
How much of the other information that was in the paper was correct about what happened?
Oh well, it's true. The producer's vehicle. You know, when you watch the show on TV, American Pickers, all you see is
Their van.
Their van, and yet there's got to be somebody else there because somebody's taking the pictures,
Somebody's
right?
taking the picture.
Right.
Showing them driving away and then saying, "Hey, how you doing?" and all that. So there's a certain amount of phoniness and recreation there. Nevertheless, apparently they had quite a few vehicles and a couple of vans, but the producer's car got keyed from end to end.
Really?
All down one side, across the hood, and back down the other side.
Wow.
And she was livid. Needless to say, she was not interested in ever coming back to Amsterdam.
I was going
after
to
that.
say, that'll be the end.
Then this woman comes down to the end of Eagle Street, right where they're shooting, with her stereo blaring on the car, boom, 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 you know, and they're shooting. The guys got the headphones on, they're holding the microphone, and they stop, and you know, one of the staff goes over to her and asks her to please turn it. She absolutely refused. No, yeah, you got no business telling me what to do, and that's it. All right. Holy God, you know. And not an ounce of common courtesy, let alone this is like one of the great events that's happened in Amsterdam well, since we did our last show.
I exist, they're from entitled.
Yeah.
They're more
I mean,
important than anything else.
you know, and you know, they said all these thugs were hanging around. And, jeez. Unfortunate. As I said on Facebook, I was revolted, livid. Yeah, Emmy Lou was telling me about that yesterday. She and her husband were down there.
You can get a good breakfast down there.
Oh my God! Yesterday, of course, Tuesday and Thursday. It's ridiculous.
Amazing.
Yesterday was Thursday, so they had the 2 slices of French toast, 2 eggs, and 2 slices of bacon for $2.22.
Way.
Yeah, and they do that on Tuesday. They do it with pancakes. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
2.22 Tuesday. Now they do 2.22 Thursday too. $2.22 for God's sakes.
Wow. That costs that much to drive down.
And it's not, and it's not like crummy French toast. It's great French toast, which I can't eat.
Great.
Mary had it. Mary had it.
Real maple syrup too, I bet.
Oh, maple syrup. Yes.
Good stuff.
Of course, on Thursdays the coffee is $6.75 a cup. And no refills. But no, I'm just kidding.
We'll do the show down there sometime.
We could do a show down
That's
there.
a good idea.
Yeah, maybe in the winter. It looks like our old stocking grounds of Gwib is no longer to be as we knew it. So
What's it going to be that we're going to know?
it's going to be a cake making place. I guess it'll be open to the public, but it's
Blaze is still gonna do it?
half the size.
Or
No,
somebody
somebody else.
I think that girl that was on Forest Avenue, that
Oh, is that who it is?
that's what I heard. Now I don't know if it's true.
Oh. Well, she's still on Forest Avenue. My wife was
Is
there
she still
yesterday,
there?
I think. Because I went, believe it or not, I went and got a haircut yesterday. After we'd seen those, after seeing last week's show, and, the wild man look. And I'm sure the last time I got a haircut was before we went to Idaho. And I'm thinking it was maybe a lot before we went to Idaho.
Over a month ago.
Might have been Easter. Yeah.
One of the holidays.
Oh, you know, I said Mike Riccio was in the next chair yesterday.
Was he?
Yeah, I went to the barber shop on Forest Avenue.
That little place.
Huh?
Used to be Zumbelos used to have his. Right by Tuman's.
Right by
Yeah, right by
Yeah,
Tillman's. Yeah.
It's a real barber shop.
Oh, a real barber shop. Yeah, real barber shop. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the hot cream came out from the eyebrows. Yeah. Nose hairs. It's a waste of time with the nose hairs. They grow back overnight. You have that problem yet or no?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll get there, I'm sure.
You get there.
Maybe after tomorrow.
the hair stops growing on top of your head.
Yeah, it comes
but
up
it comes out of your
the
nose.
roots.
Hairs.
It was something like that. Yeah. Yeah, my bald brother-in-law's got hair coming out of all his other orifices. You know, so. Wow.
On that note.
Well, anyway. All right, that's about it for the first hour. I think we're gonna cut it up like we did last week because we seem to get more people watching both halves if they are actually
In 2 halves.
in 2 halves. So this is the end of the first hour of the August 24th version of the show with no name, and we'll be right back with more of the show with no name.